It's another week and another set of offers in GTA Online, and finally, a decent week. Now, I've got to caveat that. We have a DLC coming, so be careful what you do with your money. You're going to need a lot of money for this DLC, and I think that's what Rockstar are doing at the moment. By giving you a decent week, they encourage you to spend all of your money on some really cool cars. It means you've got to buy shark cars to get the DLC. Warning delivered. Let's have a look at this. So this is the Overflod Autarch, which is based on, and hold on a minute, I've got this written down right here. It's based on the Scuderia Cameron Glickenhaus SCG 003. Yeah, and whoever came up with that name was definitely getting paid by the letter. And it's quite an unusual car. It's not one you see very often. And to explain why that's the case, I need to do a bit of a change from my usual music.
There once was an ugly duckling with feathers all stubby and brown, and the other birds in so many words said, "Get out of town, get out, get out, get out of town." And he went with a quack and a waddle and a quack in a flurry of eiderdown.
And that brought back some memories. I think I enjoyed listening to that a little bit more than I should. But yeah, that's the problem with this car. It's not easy to look at. I know they say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but come on, even that has its limits. This thing is... It's disgusting. It doesn't even have that sort of racer charm that you get from the RE7B or the LM87. It's just, from every single angle, it's just gopping. It's inexcusably ugly. And that is a shame, because contrary to what the song might say, this certainly doesn't waddle. This is not a slow car. It's quite an expensive one. This is normally $2 million. It's an offer this week at 40% off, which is a really, really good deal. I think it's one you should probably consider. I first drove this as one of the exotic exports, and I remember as soon as I got on it thinking, ooh, I quite like this, I'll have to get me one of these. Customization is sort of okay, but don't think you can save it and make it look beautiful. You can't. It's always going to look how it looks. But it's really, really worth it. It's such a refined drive. There are many good points to how this thing drives. The handling is absolutely fabulous. The downforce is incredible. But the thing that really stands out are the brakes. The brakes are absolutely incredible. You just tap them and you almost come to a complete stop, which means for twisty circuits it's superb, because you really can leave it late before using them. So there really is a lot to like about this thing, as long as you don't look at it. So maybe, I don't know, maybe this is one you should drive in first person view, because when you're in it you can't see it. Anyway, let's have a look at what it did for the top speed. And there are quite a few new subscribers on the channel, so I'll just recover how this works. I have a section of track around the back of the map that I measured, and I managed to get a section between 2 points that's exactly a mile. So what I do, I drive between these as quickly and cleanly as I can, and then do a little bit of simple maths, and that gives you the achievable top speed. Achievable being the point. This isn't a theoretical top speed. This isn't the top speed you can achieve on a perfect track going downhill. This is something that you can do on a normal map, in traffic, without catch up or anything like that, without curb boosting. This is just something that anyone that gets any of these cars will be able to do. And here's what this one managed to do. So what do we think? Is this worth buying? Tricky one. It is a really, really nice car to drive, but there are other cars that are nice to drive that aren't quite this expensive. It is a really good offer. On balance, I would say this is one that you need to think about where you are in the game. So if you've got plenty of money and you know you're going to have enough for the DLC, then do you know what? I would pick it up because you probably won't regret it. It's great fun to loon about in. If you're a little bit early in the game, unless for some strange reason you actually like how this thing looks, I would suggest this is one that you probably want to pass on, because there are other cars that are also really nice to drive. I'm thinking of things like the original Cheetah that have a similar feel where, you know, they're really well connected. So there are things like that that are nice to drive and they're a lot cheaper, and there's also the potential for some really nice cars coming with the DLC. So if you're a bit short on money, I think this might be one to miss, but if you're loaded, you know what, just go for it, fill your garages up, I would. So I hope that was useful. Here's the time it managed to do. And to sing us out, here's where it sits on the lapboard.
There once was an ugly duckling with feathers all stubby and brown, and the other birds in so many words said, "Get out of town. Get out, get out, get out of town." And he went with a quack and a waddle and a quack in a flurry of eider down. That poor little ugly duckling went wandering far and near, but at every place they said to his face, "Now, get out of here. Get out,